Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today's subject is all about how I Am Road Smart, an advanced rider training body here in the UK, threaten members of the public for highlighting the truth about the lack of standards of their own group members and examiners. This will be quite a delicate video, and I suggest if you wish to truly understand what it means is to see it through to the end, but I do warn you it will be longer than my usual videos, so I suggest that you either pause in the middle or go and get yourself a nice cup of tea or coffee now, with a chalky biscuit preferably, and see it through to the end. But for all of those who are new to this channel, then welcome, and feel free to view my other videos which are often interlinked with each other, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks ever so much. So let's get into this and let's see why private companies such as I Am Road Smart choose to openly threaten members of the public rather than communicate with usual dialogue. First of all, I must say that I Am Road Smart have openly banned me from screening a video which was produced by a channel operator, Reg Local, aka John, his first name, due to myself identifying mistakes of his assessment of an advanced rider test for an associate named username Kate, who also has her own YouTube channel, where she makes mistakes and he, throughout his assessment, builds himself up throughout the course to finally awarding her a pass of first off camera, which is the highest you can achieve. His personal video of his assessment is the video which I Am Road Smart have banned me from using to deconstruct his assessment, but it's still available online for you to view. I will produce a second video, an attachment to this one, to deconstruct that video, so look forward to that one. So who is Reg Local? Well, apparently he's an ex-traffic cop, an advanced driver I think, who set himself up as a YouTuber some time ago to present advanced driving videos. I have over time listened to serving and ex-police, class 1 drivers and riders alike who have picked faults with the information in his videos, and in some occasions legalities of his driving. To the untrained eye, members of the public probably wouldn't know any better, and he's been getting away with it. More recently, he passed his motorcycle test, and within 2 years or so, he passed the IAM Masters course with distinction, which is the highest course that they offer, and I know because I've done that course. I have viewed his rider training videos, which are as usual with mistakes. Nobody's perfect. So I asked the question, how can a Masters with distinction rider, who has since been appointed, and it's just an appointment, as an examiner by I Am Road Smart, ride not only with his own errors, but in his assessment of others? Let's see how this unfolds. So who is username Kate? Well, I probably don't even need to tell you who she is. She's been out there in YouTube land for a long time, and she's got her own followers, and she's doing quite well. I think she does it full time these days. But in the past, she attended rider training with a group called Rapid Rider before she signed up for her I Am Advanced Rider course. Now, Rapid Rider is a private motorcycle training group based in England somewhere, and staffed predominantly by ex-Class 1 police riders who promise to train riders to a standard beyond that of I Am Road Smart, and they actually quote in their own promotional material that throughout their course levels they see IPSCA, that's used by I Am Road Smart as their training platform, is okay for basic riding. So I don't quite understand why she would do this the other way around. It's a bit like being a competent open water swimmer, and when you go to I Am Road Smart they take you back to the swimming pool and they start you back off with basic strokes. It doesn't make any sense. So after username Kate aired her video of her test, she provided a link to Reg Local's channel to see his view of her ride, and I can already sense that there's people out there going, and you're working out what's actually going on even before I get through this presentation, right? But when I viewed her selfie video of her ride, it was obvious that she was aware that she was lacking in confidence and she was making mistakes, and she knew this as the ride went on. During Reg Local's video, he clearly states that for the first half of her ride, Kate was under par. And if you're under par for 50% of any test, is it surely impossible to then pass with a high enough score to be successful, let alone to achieve the first award, which is the highest that you can achieve. As Kate dismounts her motorcycle, she's already declared that she thinks she's failed. Then Reg Local informs her that she's passed. Kate doesn't even believe it in herself and asks him, "Are you pulling my leg?" And later, after a 30-minute debrief and a coffee, Reg Local declares he has awarded Kate with a first pass. Now, any first pass would have been announced at the point of motorcycle dismount. It wouldn't take an examiner half an hour to get to that conclusion. And during Reg Local's video, there's evidence of Kate's mistakes and missing sections of his recording that have been cut out and removed. And having read some comments made on Reg Local's channel of this video by what I can see are experienced I Am Road Smart members, they have also suggested foul play. So I decided to email John via his website rather than publicly communicate, and I asked him, how on earth did you award a pass? And I just expect him to come back with some clever remark, but he refused to reply. So some days later I sent him a follow-up email, and I said, John, is it normal for you to ignore a communication from a YouTube observer? He said, since you've not communicated, I've decided to make a YouTube video of my own, and I'm going to deconstruct your assessment of Kate and highlight all the areas where she was indeed below standard and put it out to the viewers in IAM land to see if they can comment and agree or disagree whether you did or didn't make any mistakes, or if she did. And it was noticed that you cut out sections of the recording, and we can only assume why. And it goes on to say, I've personally trained associates to the first standard, so I understand what the standard is. Now, I can categorically state to you that you're failing in your duty. And it's a shameless representation from yourself, I'm sure you'll agree, and blah 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 blah. I go on, and then I finish it off by saying, John, develop some self-respect, because if you can't respect yourself when you're trying to be professional, then you are not professional. So there's still no reply from John, and then some 2 weeks later in the inbox comes this email from Chloe Charlton, who I've got no idea what she does in I Am Road Smart. I don't really need to know. And she says, we have been made aware of an email sent from you to John Reg Local. It's disappointing that you have chosen to criticise John and the I Am Road Smart in this manner. Well, if you're open for criticism, what can I do? This action falls considerably short of the behaviours tolerated by I Am Road Smart. Well, they've got standards in some areas, but obviously not in others. And I Am Road Smart asks for appropriate standards of behaviours towards our staff and volunteers that non-observance will not be accepted. Our zero tolerance policy, she goes on to say, states any behaviour or language, written, verbal or online, that may cause staff or volunteers to feel intimidated, afraid, offended, threatened or abused will not be tolerated in any circumstances. It doesn't say that at all. It's on their website right now. Their online policy is in the window to the right, highlighted in red. They are not the same. In reference to your future YouTube video, Reg Local, he had expressed consent to use that video, but we do not extend this to you. So basically, if you use it, we'll have you for copyright. So I can't show that video. I can still deconstruct it, which I will, but I'll put the timelines in for you to view. See that on the next video. And in the final paragraph, she does then highlight what is their zero tolerance policy and says, should you directly or indirectly continue to communicate in an aggressive, derogatory and or threatening manner. So I would say, where in my communication to John Reg Local have I been any of those things? But what they're doing is they're trying to intimidate me and they're threatening me. And it says, we will not hesitate based on the advice of our legal advisors to initiate the appropriate level of response or action. So they're not telling me what the appropriate level is. That could be anything from somebody knocking me off my motorcycle when I'm not expecting it, or to the police knocking on the door and telling me to change how I think. So basically they've acknowledged that what I'm saying, but are threatening me to shut up or else. So I replied with my own email, and it goes like this. Thanks for your email. It's disappointing that I Am Road Smart have chosen to set the tone of your email in such an aggressive and threatening manner towards myself. This type of action, I say, falls considerably short of the behaviours which I tolerate from any established private business who are bound by industry training standards. And if you don't know what they are, go and look them up. You stated that I Am Road Smart asks for appropriate behaviours, etc., but to ask is a request. Your internal policies are not law, and you do not have any authority to control what the general public may or may not do or say. In regard to the video which was posted by John Red's Local onto a publicly accessible and open forum, he has therefore presented I Am Road Smart for open constructive criticism. The very same constructive criticism which is the platform upon which I Am Road Smart conducts its own professional profit-making business. And if John's performance is open to be criticised due to his failings as an appointed examiner, then I would suggest not posting the video for public consumption. John, as I, have produced many rider training videos for public interest, and my training videos are set at a standard higher than that of Road Smart. And should I feel the need to reference I Am Road Smart standards in a constructive and criticism manner, then I shall do so freely. All my videos are based on facts, evidence, truth, experience, and are for the purpose of public interest only. John does on occasion in his videos criticise I Am Road Smart. Your own examiners have to me also criticised I Am Road Smart, as have many associates. And there are many I Am Road Smart link videos out on YouTube currently which are filled with faults and mistakes, including breaches of traffic law. So have a go at them. I acknowledge I Am Road Smart's ban preventing myself from airing John's video, and I have no doubt I Am Road Smart are suitably embarrassed. I would hope that you've also contacted all the other commentators on John's channel who have also suggested his failings, although their wording is such to keep you from threatening them, due to the fact that they are serving IM members. In response to your aggressive and threatening email, I will now formally issue to you, I Am Road Smart, by means of an email, a cease and desist letter. From receipt of this email, my cease and desist letter extends to you, Chloe Charlton, and all that is I Am Road Smart, inclusive of any staff, volunteers, examiners and member associates. And should any of I Am Road Smart in its entirety continue to communicate towards myself directly, indirectly, in an aggressive, derogatory, abusive and or threatening manner which may cause me to feel intimidated or fear and alarm, I will not hesitate to take civil action against I Am Road Smart. I also have evidence of I Am Road Smart breaching GDPR in relation to myself. And I say to them, this communication is now going online. Have a nice day. Because I have an attention to detail and are proficient in the transposition of data, I can see clearly when mistakes have been made. And this is why I've asked John to clarify how he managed to pass Kate at the level which he did. And John, of course, is refusing to comment in fear of committing himself further. I find this type of behaviour is unacceptable from any civilian private company who are asking a minimum of £225 for you to attend what is quite a basic course, which results in a certificate being awarded which doesn't do anything for you or your insurance. Please see my other videos which make all of that clearer. So the question remains, why did John talk himself into awarding Kate a first pass instead of a fail? Has John began to receive a higher viewing rate on his channel via the link from Kate's? And why do IM Road Smart refuse to use dialogue when non-IM members have doubts and concerns about their own training standards? So who am I? Who am I to criticise anybody? Well, I'm nobody. I'm Joe Public. But historically, through employment, I have been involved with license acquisition on both 4 wheels and 2 wheels, involved with automotive and technical training qualifications on specialist systems since the late 1980s. I am long in the tooth and quite versed with training standards and how to achieve them. And I've completed every rider training course that IM have to offer, and I've also volunteered as an observer for them until recent times. I have witnessed personally the abusive and threatening side of IM Road Smart, and it's not very professional at all. Their own associate logbook author, a guy called Richard Gladman, who was appointed to that position with no real experience of being an author, was allowed to produce and release a publication known as the Associate Logbook for the associates to use throughout their courses. And when I received one of these for the first time, I highlighted it was filled with spelling mistakes, not to mention the grammar and inaccurate pictures, and the information was lacking in areas, misleading in others, and he basically told me to shut up. He's the head of the advanced rider training within Road Smart. See how he appears in my master's video. But if he can't get the publication right, then how can the IM expect anyone else, from examiners right down to associates, to get it right? Especially an ex-police driver who left the police over a decade ago, and his motorcycle license is still wet. I have attempted to communicate with the IM on many occasions, and the only replies I receive are basically shut up or else. I find it completely unprofessional. I hope this video has been enlightening and useful, and please feel free to post your comments below. And always remember, think safe, ride safe, and I hope to see you on the next one. But look out for my Reds Local deconstruction video coming to a PC near you soon. Bye for now.